Women's rights in Pakistan. First, it's important to note the timeline of events that have occurred leading up to where Pakistan is today. In 1947, the division of India occurred, thus creating Pakistan. In the same year, the Women's Relief Committee was created, and women earned the right to vote and the right to stand for election. In 1949, the All Pakistan Women's Association was founded. In 1961 and 1964, respectively, the Family Law Ordinance was passed and the Family Courts Act was passed. Under these, women had the ability to divorce and orphan children were taken care of. In 1979, the Hudud Ordinances were placed as a part of Sharia law. Women's evidence was not admissible in court, and if a woman made an accusation but no one confessed to the accusation, it was possible that she would be sentenced to death. In 2006, the Women's Protection Bill was passed. First, the division of India is important because this is the creation of Pakistan. In the 1940s in India, there was strife between Muslims and Hindus because Muslims wanted more opportunity, but Hindus were the majority. Muhammad Ali Jinnah pushed for a separate state for Muslims apart from India. In this same time, Winston Churchill's successors in Britain wanted to grant India self-rule as Britain still had control over India. Britain agreed to the divide for the continent, making Pakistan its own country on August 15, 1947. In Hinduism, the laws of Manu were followed, and women must be honored by men and they must be present for big decisions. Women also had basic rights in Hinduism in India. It's important to note that India was more progressive than Pakistan in the 40s before the divide, so Hinduism and all of these rights were in place before Pakistan was even created. When Pakistan first emerged, they had a Pakistani military dictatorship. It was considered a Muslim military dictatorship, and it was involved with a lot of corruption and instability. Many leaders were overthrown because of their electoral fraud and corruption charges. Then and now, the Islamic presence was the majority in Pakistan, as this was the reason for the creation of the country. The country now is 90 to 95% Muslim. One thing to note is that the Pakistani government officially supported the US to move into Afghanistan after September 11th, but many Pakistanis agreed with the radical terrorist ideas and their anti-Americanism. Because of this difference of opinion between the official government and a lot of the citizens of Pakistan, there was a lot of internal struggle. In the past, Islamic law suppressed a lot of rights, especially for women, and women were inferior to men in most every regard. Today, women have earned the right to divorce, the right to obtain and sell property, and the right to vote. This is both under Pakistani law and Sharia law. The Pakistani government now is a Western legal system. They do have a constitution and a Bill of Rights, so it's very similar to the United States. Their civil and criminal courts also are secular. It is important, though, to remember that all of these things are in respect to Islamic principles, so their government does take that into consideration when making decisions because the country is primarily Islamic. These are some important people that have contributed to women's rights in Pakistan. First, Fatima Jinnah is actually the sister of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and she founded the Women's Relief Committee. And this committee oversaw refugee transfers between India and Pakistan after the divide. Ra'ana Liaquat Ali Khan founded the Women's Association, and this association now has 56 branches throughout the country. Benazir Bhutto, although did not contribute a lot positively to the country, she was the first female prime minister, and it was important because she was a female, but she was overthrown twice for corruption charges. So the question might come to mind, where are these women now? As mentioned before, they do have the right to vote, and they do have the ability to divorce, which is a big deal because there have been multiple acts that have pushed for that have passed. One important thing to note is that in 2006, when the Women's Protection Bill was passed, it allowed rape cases to be tried under civil code, not just Sharia law. And under Sharia law, the use of forensic and circumstantial evidence was not admissible in court, so women really did not have a fair opportunity for their rape charges to be heard. This is such a big deal because, according to the Lancet, gang rapes occur in Pakistan every 2 hours, so this is definitely a prevalent issue, and this is something that only occurred 10 years ago, so it's very recent. Overall, it's important to note that Pakistan has been progressive in moving towards more women's rights. It's definitely helped that the country is under a Western type legal system that gives equal opportunity to men and women. I don't think this country is exactly where they want to be in regards to women's rights, but they've definitely come a long way, and they definitely have the right people in leadership leading them toward more opportunity for women. All of these sources were helpful in creating this PowerPoint. Thank you.